As a start, let's define first what a Kratky hydroponic system. So this is actually a development from a researcher who is Kratky, B.A. Kratky, and hydroponics in the Kratky system is an example of a passive growing method of hydroponics. So in a Kratky hydroponic system, you can use a bucket, you can use any reservoir that you have in your own home. So Kratky basically is a hydroponic system that is easy to set up. I was able to do a Kratky system by myself in less than an hour or in less than 30 minutes actually. So it actually needs basic materials like, for example, paper cups or styro cups, uh, a pot, a water tank, a pail, or a plastic bottle, and of course, a nutrient solution. Some plants do not need like nutrients or heavy nutrients. So, of course, what you need to do in a Kratky system is to have a dedication because you should also monitor their growth from day to day. And when I say monitor, it is just looking at the system itself, how how is my plant growing in the system, but not necessarily maintaining them every day. So of course, every plant, if you are really wanting to go into a gardening hobby, it is very fulfilling to monitor them every day and see the development that they are undertaking every day of their life. So let me start off by illustrating here the overall setup of a Kratky method. So as you can notice here, there is a very distinct space between the roots and the water. As you can notice, the roots are not fully submerged into water. There is an air space that you need in a Kratky method. Why? Because this airspace would be the space that will provide your plant with the oxygen. So if you will contrast this to the active deep water culture, so in active deep water culture system, you can submerge the roots fully into water because you have an air pump, and the air pump would provide enough oxygen and air space for the waters to breathe. Remember that air pumps actually produce little bubbles, tiny bubbles, or in some instances, big bubbles, and those bubbles inside them are spaces that the plant roots can use in order for them to breathe. So if you have an active deep water culture system with an air pump, you can fully submerge your roots into the water. On contrary, in the Kratky method of hydroponics, it is important not to submerge your plant roots into water fully because if you do that, the water is unoxygenated, there is no space in it, there is a very high tendency that bacteria could develop and that your roots could not breathe, and this will lead to them being suffocated. So just like humans, plants could also be suffocated. So when that happens, of course, the plant will automatically die. So that is the secret of a Kratky method of hydroponics. It leaves an air space. So as you can notice here, when the plants are still small, you can fill the water, but still make sure that the plant roots are getting enough space for it to breathe. But as the plant grow older, the roots also become more extensive. Thus, you should lessen the amount of water in your hydroponic reservoir. So that is one of the key steps or key methods in a Kratky method of hydroponics. The key principles in a Kratky method of hydroponics. Now, let me just place here a video when I created an improvised Kratky hydroponic system from just a little plastic bottle. So for this Kratky hydroponic system, you will be needing a bottle, of course, a seedling that has already grown, clay pebbles or rocks for cheaper alternatives, You also need water and cutter, and of course, something to wrap the bottle. It is important that the bottle or the reservoir is not penetratable with light. So it is important that you provide your recycled bottle with something to wrap it. For example, some are using actually insulating boards. Using that, they are providing insulation and at the same time not letting light to pass in through the bottle. So here, first, of course, you need to cut the bottle. I used a scissor, and then the top part of the bottle will be used as my net cup. So this is a really good way to recycle your bottles. So as I use that net cup, of course, it is very important to provide a hole. When you put the plants in there, let the roots dangle in the hole of your net cup. When you do that, of course, you need to place the growing medium. In this case, I use clay pebbles as my growing medium. And after that, you can expose them to natural sunlight, or you can use LED lights as what I did here in this video. So as easy as that, you can actually have a recycled Kratky system. But if you have bigger resources, like for example, you have a tray or something like that, you can also create a Kratky hydroponic system from those resources that you have.